Howdy, I'm Dr. Chris Nowotarski at Texas A&M Atmospheric Sciences. If you're in Texas, you've probably heard about the promised rain, or it's already raining on you somewhere in Texas. So we'll talk a little bit about the meteorology behind that and why it's going to be finally raining after a pretty dry fall. So this is showing the current cloud cover over the United States, and we see over central Texas there's some really deep clouds, but most of the state is a lot cloudier than it's been lately. So why is that happening? If we look in a little closer, you can see that some of those clouds are corresponding to some rain. So this is the radar reflectivity showing this band of rain over central and western Texas moving into Oklahoma and into the Mississippi River Valley. If we look at some products that meteorologists tend to look at when they're making their weather forecasts, this is a model showing what's going on at different levels in the atmosphere. The top panels are showing different heights of pressure surfaces. You can think about this as sort of an elevation map of where there's more and less air at different levels in the atmosphere. So where we have these sort of troughs in this wave pattern, that shows where we have colder air. And typically the weather's more interesting downstream of these troughs. So in Texas, we're to the east of this larger trough in the western United States. So that means we're getting more upward motion in the atmosphere and more interesting things happening in terms of clouds and precipitation. So over the next few days, if we kind of put this into a loop, you can see that we have this large trough, but then smaller pieces move around that. So it's almost like a tilt-a-whirl ride in an amusement park. You've got one big sort of circle, but then smaller things are rotating around that. So as those pieces move around, that will have some changes towards the surface. So at low levels in the atmosphere, we're going to have this front, a boundary between drier polar air towards the north, more humid tropical air in southeast Texas. And as those different pieces move through the larger trough, that will cause that boundary to oscillate back and forth across Texas. And where that boundary is where we're going to see the most rainfall. So this will lead to several periods of rain in different parts of the state. And as we move farther into next week, that trough finally kicks through, and the coldest air in the atmosphere is under that axis of that trough. So when that kicks through, we'll finally see some colder, more seasonable temperatures, and the rain ahead of that trough will kick to our east. So for the next few days, we're going to see different periods of rainfall, but by middle of next week, it looks like a final cold front will push through, and we'll finally see some seasonable weather, hopefully for Thanksgiving. This is the Weather Prediction Center's forecast for rainfall over the next few days, going into Tuesday of next week. And you see that anywhere from 4 or 5 inches of rain over parts of central and northern Texas. But most of the state will see some rain and hopefully put a dent in some of the drought we've been having.